Welcome to Morning Chatter Podcast with your host Chelsea and
Courtney. Hello, guys, and we have our friend Cristina here today.
Hey, a special guest. We love having
excited.
guests on, right?
You
So fun.
Tell them
She's
who she
actually,
is.
a speech pathologist, right?
Yeah.
Is that your title? Is that the title?
Yeah.
Or is it speech language?
Speech and Language Pathologist
Speech
or
and
speech
Language
therapist.
Pathologist, speech therapist. So she works with children,
Mostly.
ages.
So I've been working with kids as early as 18 months
Wow.
to adults who are in the skilled nursing facility.
Okay.
So I've had experience with both adults who had like a traumatic brain injury or a stroke, but my heart is with the little ones. So I've been really focusing on the preschool age and now mostly with the really little ones, like 18 months up to 3 years old.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've had personal experience with that too. So it was nice that she had said, "Oh, my friend is a speech pathologist. We should have her on." I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to pick her brain. That's awesome because there's so many parents out there that might be on the fence about maybe something's going on with my kid, or not even your kid. Maybe something's going on with my friend's kid, or whatever." I think the earliest you can get your kid in is the most beneficial for them because they don't know any different.
I think the push has been really big for like early intervention, and a lot of pediatricians are still kind of old school and thinking, "Oh, just wait and see." Whereas like all the research shows it's better to start it as early as possible, and like really 18 months is as early as we'll start, and that's really we see most progress, and they'll improve much faster, and you see less problems later on.
Okay. Because how old is Archer now?
He just turned 16 months.
Okay, so he's right at that borderline now.
Yeah, I mean, they were even like, okay, well, it's a little young, but, so yeah, he was diagnosed with a speech delay. I never even saw the report, but, so it's very, like, everything else was fine. It's just he needed a little nudge to say some words, and we're still in the process of getting his appointment set up. And honestly, tools that I found after talking to like you and one of my other friends that's a speech path, he's improved so much that I feel like by the time that we get there, they might be like, why are you here? I don't even know if they'll let us.
Right?
Yeah, but that's good. I mean,
rolling?
that's what happened to my little one. He was a little bit behind, and I was like, I think it's a speech delay, but I didn't want to wait because I just wanted to get it in. Because I'm like, what? You're not going to lose anything. It's only going to help them. I mean, it's basically free language lessons, so like why not?
Right.
And that's why I tried to tell all the parents, because I think a lot of people are just scared, like, oh, something is wrong with my child. No, he's just a little bit behind, and every kid has strengths. Like someone has really nice hair and not so nice.
Exactly.
It's like, what's the big deal?
And like you said too, yours is more of a motor skills. He's focusing on the motor skills. He got walking really fast. He's doing all those like fine motor skills faster.
He's amazing in all other.
but that's what they do. They kind of
I've heard
themselves
they develop
on
at
their
like
strengths.
a ladder steps or whatever.
Yeah. But I think it's bold of you to do it before you're like, oh, well, just wait. I waited, and I wish I would have had someone in my corner being like, you should go and check him out. Like, what's the big deal?
I also
but
feel
back
like that
then,
was so long ago too.
10 years.
Yeah,
so.
I think
nowadays
nowadays
it's
it's way more.
So
Like people
different.
are more aware. People realize how much more prevalent it is. I think back then people were just like, oh, it's fine, don't think about it. It'll come eventually,
Like
and then when it didn't, and then it's like even harder to get and see progress.
Yeah,
and then I think the one thing now is people are so aware of autism, and speech and language delays are usually one of the symptoms of autism, or like they usually have a language delay. So I think a lot of people think about it more than they did back then.
Yeah, I think
we
so
do see
too.
autism more, and it's not always. And their thing is with parents bringing kids in early, we want to look at is it just a language delay? Is it autism? Is it a different developmental disorder? So it's kind of helpful to just get it in and know.
I 100% agree with you, because I wish I would have had someone telling me, like, just go, take them in. And like you said, if you go through the regional center, it's free, right?
I think that's the key. A lot of people think they will have to pay a lot of money, but if they qualify through the regional center, it's free, and then insurance will pay for it most likely too.
Yeah. Well, that's how ours is doing. They're kind of like, the lady said they're going to be taking turns. So it's going to start out being with the regional, and then my insurance is going to cover it, but my insurance will only do so many, so then it will go back to the regional. So it's all going to be covered.
Yeah.
And it's great.
All in the best interest of the kid. Like
just to
want
improve.
Yeah,
and excel.
Totally. But let's kind of go over a few of those, specific things. Like when we say delays, like what kind of delays are we thinking of? Like receptive?
So people have to separate like receptive language and expressive language. So receptive is what a child understands. So that's following directions, or like if you ask them, point to the cat, point to the cow, then being able to hear the information and then point to it, or like show you that they can follow directions, like sit down, stand up, things like that. And then expressive language is the words that they actually say. So then being able to call you mama, them labeling a chair, or imitating words. So like for my little one, he wasn't so good at imitating words. Like anything I said, like say ball, he was just looking at me. So he wasn't imitating, which is one sign of like, okay, that's not typical, because most kids will imitate words.
That's what Archer was doing, not to cut you off, but the same thing. And then we learned that he did better with incentives. So I wouldn't give him a ball until he tried, and that's been huge. So sorry, go on.
So then for expressive language, we would just look at like labeling, being able to imitate words, and then what sounds they have. So like later on when they are older and they're supposed to have a certain amount of sounds in their inventory, then we talk about articulation disorders. That's like the most common, where people say, my kid can't say the R, they say the W. It's always a wabbit instead of a rabbit. So that's later on part of the expressive language, and that's called articulation. So for us, at this young age, we're kind of looking, is it receptive or expressive, or is it both? And a lot of kids will show delays in both areas. And obviously it's better when they have it only in expressive, or usually it's easier to get progress and see them move on, because it's oftentimes really just an easy push. They need just the intensive therapy to get them, which, like you said, what we do mostly is taking things away, withholding items, getting them really motivated for what they want, and getting them to use, if you start with a sign, more, or just like labeling items. So I think that's kind of the key, because we as parents, we want our kids happy. We just want to do whatever it is so they don't cry, they don't complain. So we're like, okay, whatever you want, here. We don't ask them to like tell me, oh, you want candy, so say candy. You're just like, oh, here you go, you want candy. Or like we talk for them, like, oh, you want to play with a ball, here's the ball. We don't wait and hold it and say, okay, what do you say? So that's, I think, one of them.
No, totally.
And it's like, if you think about it, like every parent would do it. We just so naturally in the moment, it's so fast. We don't think about it.
And you don't even think about it. And it's like, no, they need a reason to talk. And I'm like, oh, okay. So instead of having his water accessible, if you put it where he can where he can see it, now he's like, wah-wah. And it's like, oh my gosh, like that's all I needed to do, you know?
And that's really what we do in speech therapy. We use clear boxes, and we'll put the toys in there, and another box, and it's like, here you go, play with the toys. And then they're like, well, I want you to open it, so you say open, and then we work on these verbs, because again, like once they learn want or more, they start using just want and more for everything. So you want to teach them more new words. So that's when you start kind of trying different. Yeah, for sure.
Which I definitely think is, well, Jack went through. He had both going on. I would talk to him, and he would be like, you know, and then, but same thing, he wasn't saying a lot of words. He would repeat words, like he had like echolalia, where he would repeat everything he said, but he wasn't having that conversation. So that's where he falls more on like the autism background of it. He wasn't just delayed. Like I had friends who have kids who are just delayed, you know, and then they went to therapy and now they're fine.
Yeah, they're usually, and it's like the parents who will later on tell us, my kid won't stop talking, and you just make him shut up. And I'm like, yep, you were complaining before, and now you're complaining about something else.
Well, funny. You know,
but I guess in general, as we're talking about delays, by like 12 months, we want them to like start imitating like syllables like mama, papa, and kind of start to intentionally mean those things.
Okay.
But then by 18 months, we want them to have like 10 words they can label besides mama and dada. So have cat, ball, things like that. And then definitely animal sounds, probably at least 3 animal sounds. Like if you tell them, what does a cat say? And you expect them to say meow, or like an approximation of it. And then by 24 months, we want to be closer to like 50 words. So I think that's where you can definitely see a big gap if kids aren't labeling at all. So 2 is definitely, you should be starting.
2 was our eye opener, and it was like, wait.
And then they're supposed to start combining 2 words. That's when you see a lot of kids who are still just at the 1-word level, and you're really like, okay, we need to push them to start combining 2 words. And I think that's a hard transition from just the 1 words to like getting them to use 2 words and then moving on to phrases and like longer sentences.
So when's the 2 words? Is that by 2?
20, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're
plenty of time.
we still. But now when you say, okay, so like 18 months, they should have like the 10 words. Is that always being unprompted, them saying
like they should be able to label items or just spontaneously produce it. But we do want them, like if you show them a picture book and ask them, what's this? you would want them to label 10
Okay.
items and be
Okay.
able to. And around 18 months, we do start seeing 2-word combinations. So you do want to kind of like more
Start
like
working.
more juice, bye mama, not like complicated things like
Yeah.
up air or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
like
yeah.
things that they use every day, like water, milk, and start combining more water or no more. Things like that are pretty simple, but
Okay.
do start using 2 words. And that's the biggest thing is us modeling. I think we forget about it. We gotta get the day.
Yeah.
We need to
I was
live
thinking
our
that
life.
too. Like
and
you're
yeah.
almost just talking and not even talking to them sometimes.
Mhm.
So it's like if you more like get down to their level and be like, you know, like
Break
you
it
said,
down.
break it down.
Smaller.
And
And
you're
you
bringing
want
up a
your-
huge concept. I think that's what most parents miss is being at their level.
Yeah.
We're always up here and we're like talking down to them,
Yeah.
and we see just in therapy so much more progress when we get down
Get
on our
down.
knees. We're at their eye level. They do so
Okay.
much better.
So
Like
it's not
kids
so
just
intimidating
yeah.
too. you
and
know?
they think
I
like,
was
oh, she's
taught
with
that,
me down
yeah.
here. We're playing. It's not like a
She's with
tell
me.
me. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
For sure.
She's bonding with, or he is bonding with me right now. You know,
that
like.
makes sense.
Because I know that one of the biggest questions was like, do you read to your kid? And I'm like, yeah,
That's
every
huge,
night. Like,
yeah.
whoa, way to make me feel bad. You know?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I read to him every night. And
Mhm.
but then like as I started, I'm just reading.
Yeah,
Like
you're
you know what I
not
mean? I
engaging.
wasn't reading and being like, what does the cow say? Like at that point at night, so I'm like, I had to switch it to reading in the morning because it's like at night I'm
Too
like,
tired,
I'm reading
yeah.
for you to go to bed. I'm not reading to have a classroom session. You
Right,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So it's like I would say read to them during the day,
Mhm.
so then you can ask those questions and they're engaged too. You
Yeah.
know, they're not ready to go to bed. You
And
know?
it's not just about asking questions. I think a lot of people don't think about what you can do with a book. Like when you open it up, you teach the children like early literacy skills. You're
Yes.
teaching them there's pages, you turn the page. You teach them that which side is upside down. So like later
Yeah.
on they know themselves. They can pick up a book the right way. They know how to turn the page. They know it starts here and it ends here. And you can just work on like pointing to items. That's like the best therapy you can do like with your little one. Just sitting down like, oh look, there's the cow. Can you point to the little animal? Can you point to the horse? Oh, what does the horse say? What color is it? You're teaching already colors. You're teaching animals. You can
Yeah.
talk about the shapes. Oh, what shape are his eyes? It's a circle. Yay! And you just kind of do
And there's so
therapy
many
at home. And
yeah,
so parents
books
can
out
do
there
it.
too that
Mhm.
are those kind of type of asking questions books for
Yeah.
your kids.
Yeah.
You know, like with
Yeah.
all the shapes and colors and things like that. So it's like there's so many resources
Mhm.
out there.
But man, we got to put some work in. Like it's like like we're
Yeah.
their teachers too. It's crazy.
Gnarly.
Like you're not just trying to like keep them fed and alive all day.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we're like doing like classroom stuff.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, I think that's where we got our most progress is when you actually, like we had ABA, but when they came to our house and like really evaluated how you were talking to them too,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, I didn't know that.
And I think
You
that's the
know?
nice thing about being able to get speech therapy.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry about that. It shouldn't be all on you. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong that he has a speech delay.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't reflect that you're a bad mom or you did something
Good
wrong.
point.
No, it's just that's how your baby was born. Like
yeah, exactly.
it's not a big deal. He most likely will catch up with just a little bit of therapy, and it doesn't even take more than a year. Like
Yeah.
some kids will really show progress in 6 months and you're done. So it's like that's nice. You just
Yeah,
put them in once,
exactly.
twice a week, depending what their symptoms are,
Needs
but
are, yeah.
it does improve so
Yeah.
easily.
And then
sometimes.
you're learning from them what to do at home.
For sure.
Yes.
Because I think they need more than just whatever their half
Yeah.
hour.
Yes.
So being at home, I think, is going to be huge too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to just come home and be like, all right, get out of my
Done.
face.
See ya.
No
Go
more
watch
speech
TV.
for you.
Yeah.
No, definitely. One of my girlfriends actually had a question with siblings and having like either the older sibling or she actually has twins and that other sibling talking for the other
Mhm.
sibling
I've
that's
heard
not
that with
talking
twins,
as much.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, how do you intervene with that sibling to say, hey, give her a moment, or
Yeah.
him a moment to answer for herself?
That's hard because you obviously don't want to make the other sibling feel bad,
Yeah.
but you do want to encourage, kind of maybe read a book and work on like taking turns. Everyone has a voice and kind of think about it like, oh, that's his turn to speak. He wants to say what he needs to say. And it's like making the point of like he needs to learn to be able to tell us what he wants. So like later on when he is in school by himself, he won't have the brother or sister talk for him. So we really want to encourage them to use their own words. And that's what I usually use the language for. Like, oh, use your own words, or like, oh, tell me what you think because it's your opinion.
Yeah.
So like I don't need to know what your brother thinks. I want to know what you want. So kind of making maybe a game and thinking, okay, let's see how many things you can tell us, and then let's see what you can tell me, and kind of like working that way where it's like, okay, it's your turn, now it's your turn to talk.
Yeah, because
And,
you're also working on turn taking.
For
almost,
sure.
Yeah.
And that's something we want to teach them early on too. Like, you don't want to have the kid who's going to be speaking over everyone. So it's definitely a skill we need to all learn to take turns, not to interrupt, stay on topic. And that's later on, especially with kids who are on the spectrum, that's a big thing to teach because they usually struggle with
I
those
feel like
social
we need
skills.
to learn that too, just like as adults sometimes on
And
the
we,
show.
we all know a person who's always the one who will interrupt. So it's
Yeah.
like everyone does it here
Everyone
and
does
there,
it.
but you want to teach them appropriate social skills.
Yeah.
Because I think that's hard though, because my guy does that. He'll be like, out of nowhere, come in and talk to you, and you're like, dude. I was actually talking to my dad about this yesterday. He's like, sometimes I just have to say, hey, I'm watching this right now, but I will get to you in however many minutes.
Yeah.
Literally, right when that show was done, Jack was over. Okay, it's done. There you go. You know what I mean? Because he's like, wants to say it so bad. He's like, I want to tell him. I don't want to tell him. I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
You know? Because I feel like sometimes they think,
maybe he
I
could write
might
it down.
forget. Oh yeah,
And I think that's what happens to us too when we interrupt, because we're like, oh, I want to say it, and I don't want to forget it,
Yeah.
and then or you get too excited because you want to share whatever it is that you want to share.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, okay, I need to wait.
Yeah.
It'll still be there. I'll
That's
think
a
about
good-
it.
That's a good tip though. Hopefully she listens. And she'll have her take turns, like not.
And sometimes what I've done with little ones in therapy, if we have like a group session, we'll use like a talking stick, and it'll be like, okay, whose turn is it to talk?
Okay.
Okay, if you don't have the stick, you're not allowed to interrupt because it's that person's turn.
Ooh,
And it's
that's
like
good
when they see the visual, it helps them than just like, it's his turn, her turn, they don't understand sometimes. So
Yeah.
like if you actually give them a physical object they get to hold, or a microphone even. Like I'll pretend that a pen is a microphone, but when you have older kids, they'll start being like, no, Miss Cristina, that's not a
Yeah.
microphone, it's a pen. And you're like, yeah, let's just pretend it is.
Yeah, use your imagination for me today, please.
Yeah, that's a good idea, and having it be tangible. Because
And that's another thing actually for little ones. I've like seen a huge improvement using a microphone or like a box or like a cup, and you talk into it. For some reason, kids think it's the most hilarious thing.
Oh,
Like
Archer
you
does
can
that
try
all
with
the time.
Archer, and like if you do like cat, and then you give it to them, and they imitate immediately.
I'll
They
try
think
with
it's
the
so
words
funny.
because
yeah.
he just will go and like
Yeah.
yell in it, but I
Uh-huh.
never thought to like.
Probably
do
because it sounds so
Well, he
fun.
loves doing it. I think
Yeah.
Jeff taught it to him, or someone. It's someone else's
Yeah,
fault.
every kid I've had so far in my caseload, they all enjoy it for some reason.
That's
Like,
so
it's
awesome.
such a good incentive, and I'll be like, okay, cat. What do you
my
say?
God,
And
that's
then they'll
genius.
do it.
I feel like
That's
he'll
so
respond
great.
well to that since he
Yeah.
likes doing
Or
No,
just like the phone,
definitely.
you know how they all are obsessed with phones?
Yeah.
Like pretending to be talking on the phone. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Or
Yeah.
like teaching them the two phrases with something. And it's the key is like really you can't push them to do something they don't like. You can't force them to play Legos and like teach them colors with Legos if they're not interested. So it's all about following their lead, doing whatever they want. If they want to climb up on the counter, let's climb up with them and talk about up, 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 going up, go down, and kind of use
Okay.
whatever they're doing and teaching them those words.
That's good too.
Because they're engaged and they're having fun. They're
Yeah,
not looking
you're not
at it
gonna
like
learn.
a chore.
I mean, if you don't want to do something, are you gonna enjoy it and learn?
Right.
No, you want to do what you like to do, and that's the best way to learn it.
I do remember that. There was a lot of games and like incentives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I think we're all kind of wired like that. It's like
Mhm.
we do things for incentives
Yeah.
too. It might not be the same. It might be more of like your job. You
Yeah.
go for the money. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like we all have that incentive. So
For
if
sure.
you break it down to kids too and realize that they need those as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's been working for us.
Gosh, so many tips already. I love it. I don't know. Like, I just would assume that your job would be so rewarding. You know,
It
like I
seems like it
mean,
would be
hard
hard,
and
too,
It's
like
rewarding.
hard,
sad
but
sometimes.
it's definitely rewarding when you see the progress. Like when you have a kid who's never said a word, and then you have the parent come back like, he called me mama for the first
Aw.
time, and it's like,
Yeah.
yes, that's why I'm doing it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just really amazing to see that progress. And like
For
some of the
sure.
kids who we get, and they're like so different. They like after the end of therapy, they're like completely different children. They're so much happier because just imagine how frustrating it would be. You have all this you want to say, and you just can't
Yeah.
get it out. So I feel like it just like being able to teach them to use signs or like approximations and then actually use words. It's just such a huge difference in their life because they stop being frustrated, and oftentimes we'll see behaviors with a lot of
Yes.
kids who are hitting, throwing tantrums because they can't communicate. They can't tell you that they want the water or they're too hot or they don't want to do something. And that's where you see so much improvement, wherein they can finally use their words and tell me what is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more frustrated than actually, you know.
Yeah, now that they can say what they want, and they don't have to like lash out in other ways.
But hard too. Like I remember some
It
days
is hard.
pulling Jack in and being like, sorry, he is not having a good day. But and they were so patient. Like you're patient, so it's like you have to be super patient.
Yeah, I don't think
that.
I would be good at that. I think I would probably just be like crying the whole time. Like you have to be like emotionally strong. I feel like to like be dealing with that.
I think it's just a matter of like, I don't think I see it as a problem, you know, like I think a lot of parents see it as like, oh my gosh, my child will never speak again. It's like, no, you need to really think more positive. It's really not. I think a lot of people just think it's a huge problem, when sometimes it might be, you know, if there's an actual like developmental disorder, if they have Down syndrome or cerebral palsy, it will take longer, or like children with apraxia of speech, which is so uncommon, but if they do, the progress is slower, it does take really long. So obviously we have those cases where we know it's going to take a while, and it is hard because the work is difficult, they don't want to be there, they don't want to work for it, but you know, you got to do because you want to make them feel better and learn to communicate.
And you just brought up the apraxia of speech. Is that where they lose speech? What?
So that's usually where
and
kids.
You said it's rare.
It's very rare.
Okay.
Like I think people always like, oh, my child may have apraxia of speech. But it's like, no, it's very uncommon, but it does happen, and it's usually where the brain sends the signal to your mouth to say whatever they want to say, but they can't. So it's not that the muscles are weak. It's just the signal isn't sent right, and they just have difficulty sequencing words, or they'll kind of substitute sounds, or that when they're older they'll have like vowel differences. So with that, the treatment is a lot harder, and you do have to have like therapy 4 times a week.
Too, then? Would you be using
somewhat?
It's
kind of, but it's just like they know what they want to say. There's no problem with like receptive language usually. It's just really that they can't, like they think they're saying dada, but it comes out as mama. And things like that. There's like voicing errors, or like they just can't do multisyllabic words. Like butterfly, it'll be like bafa. So they can't sequence. It's more difficult. So that's really uncommon. So like we don't typically see it. Yeah, and you do see a lot of groping where they're like really trying to say, and they'll be like really trying to, and they're just, it doesn't happen because the brain isn't sending the signal the right way.
See, I feel like that would be a little bit more difficult emotionally for me to handle, like that, because you almost like see like, oh, I don't know. I feel like that would just be tough to watch. But you said they can
make great progress
and talk normal and have like it just be all good after therapy. Or?
Yeah, they can. I mean, it might take a few years.
Yeah.
Like I've had kids 3-4 years, you know, and they're making progress. You know, it's not that they're always going to be struggling. It just might take longer to be like back to perfect speech. And it might not ever be like completely perfect, but you know, they can communicate. They'll be fine in school. It's not something that's going to interfere with their life.
So what about with things like R's and certain, what is that, articulation?
Yeah, that's
sounds?
where articulation comes in. So typically,
Age-wise.
so by age like 4, we want them to have the basic like p, b, m, t, d. But then the later developing sounds, like by 6, you want to have the F and B sound, the R's, the L's, and the S. So a lot of parents will come at like when the kid is 4, and they're like, oh, my kid can't say the R. And it's like, no, it's completely normal. It's age appropriate. So we could do therapy in like a private setting, but like a school district would never do therapy for a sound that's still developmentally appropriate. And then the latest developing sounds are like by 7, it's usually the ch, j sound, and the th, the voice and unvoiced, the sound.
So like my little guy, he does ch, the all those are fine, but the R's, like I feel like he's from back east or something. Like
a lot of kids, it's usually the W, it becomes a W, or it's like a schwa vowel. It's like where it sounds like they're British or something.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm trying to think of something that he says. He'd be like, I can't even do it now. I can't even go into my Luke accent, but he full blown has an accent. Like yesterday, Dad was like, how did he get like a New York accent? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's because of his R's. But he's 7, so, and I know the school district is really like.
They might by 7, they will.
Okay, so maybe I'll talk to them and see if.
And that's one thing. Like usually the school district, you can definitely get free services. I mean, once they're in the school, you'll get evaluated. And I think that's more like a lot of parents don't know. So hopefully this will kind of like teach them you can always get free services, whether it's like when they're young with a regional center, when they're under 3, and then once they're 3 and you can go through the school district, you can get an evaluation. You just request it. So I think that's what the main thing is. Parents need to be able to request it. Like a lot of people don't know. So don't just give up because maybe the first time they told you on the phone it's fine. Still do a written letter, request it, and then you need to get what you need for your child. And that's kind of, I think, that hopefully the takeaway, that parents don't feel like they're alone in this. You can get the help, hopefully for free. Exactly. And then with the school district, I mean, they'll work on everything: language, receptive language, expressive language, stuttering, whatever it is.
Well, Jack still has an IEP through the school district, and we go over all his goals and everything, because and he still gets pulled out for speech once a week, you know what I mean? But the school district was super helpful. I mean, because he was in preschool from when he was 3 till before he went to kindergarten, and that was all free because it was a little special needs, but they always had eyes on him, you know what I mean? So I feel like, though, when you have like a sibling, I always got like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Forgot about you.
How are you doing at school? You
hey, little guy, what are you doing? So maybe I'll bring it up with his teacher or whatever and say, like, I think he might need a little bit of just to work on the R's. Like, when I tell him to do it, he can do it. It's
and that's
weird.
the thing. Sometimes they can do it in one position, like an initial position, but they can't do it at the end, or they can't do it and when it's in a cluster, like a KR cluster or a PR cluster. So I think there's so many, like, that's why you go to a speech therapist. They can evaluate and figure out what sound it is and what position, or if they can do it at the word level, but they can't do it at a phrase or sentence level. And then obviously getting them to do it in conversation is way harder because they have to think about it throughout. Like when you look at a word and you know you're working on this sound, it's easy to do. But then in a conversation, kids just don't focus.
Their subconscious and it just comes
out.
out.
You don't even think about, okay, where in the word the letter is and all, like, there's so much that like goes into that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so much. Because I can remember coming out, like, when she would talk to me and I'd be like, what? Like, so much information
comes out. And it's so
comes
frustrating. And it's like hard because as a parent, you're like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Kids don't. The worst is like when kids don't understand and they start teasing other kids. So you definitely don't want to wait and just be like, oh, eventually he'll get it. It's like, no, I would rather you go in for therapy. Let's just get it fixed.
Just get it be proactive.
I mean, there's nothing. It's not going to harm anyone to get the language therapy early on.
Yeah.
No,
and free babysitting.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
While you're there, you get a little break.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was a break. I always wrote a book. But, well, I think we covered a lot and went over a lot of good tips. So most of those tips would be getting down to the kid's level, talking to the kid, right?
Withholding items, making sure they're motivated. If you know they love this particular snack, use it for anything throughout the day. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it and all day just withhold items. Like, tell me what you want. But, you know, pick like 10, 20 minutes a day that you're going to be doing therapy with them. And just kind of like work on that. Do the book reading, like work on pointing, work on labeling, colors, shapes. Definitely work on animal sounds. Like do a lot of nursery rhymes. Kids love that.
That's
like
Old McDonald. Did you say by 18 they need to have 18 months?
Yeah, they should have some animal sounds.
Yeah, we're not there. Yeah, he's trying with the moo. Hold on. He does like with his cars, but that's all we've gotten for his noises. And he does his little meditation noise. It's really cute.
I like it.
Yeah, and then later on, you definitely want to start teaching them prepositions, like just throughout the day, like let's put the cow in the barn, let's put the cow under the table. The more you model, I think that's how they learn the most. I mean, they need to hear it. You can't just expect them to learn a concept without being exposed to it.
Yeah,
so I think just like books, getting on their level, withholding items, really rewarding them. I think that's the biggest thing. Like clap, make it a big deal that they finally use the words, because they get excited like, oh, I don't want mom to do this again. I'm going to use my words because I'm getting this reaction.
Definitely. And they're putting in the work too. Poor thing. You know, it's probably frustrating for them too. So it's like,
we woo!
Yeah,
we clap, and he's always like, oh,
I
did it! Yay!
Yeah, exactly.
His face is so funny.
Such an accomplishment. And it only gets better too, like when you start your
and it is. I feel like it's starting to, once I did this one, then they see the reaction you give them, and they're like, all right, well, say whatever you want me to say.
And then for parents, just like some toys that I always recommend is like puzzles are always good because you can work on animals, and matching is a good cognitive skill to have for later on. And then you can work on same and different, and then what animal sounds animals make. Shape sorter is great, you know, starting to work on those shapes. and like maneuvering it.
Okay, let me ask you, because this might not be your department, but when he does the shapes, he's always trying all the ones that's not, and finally he gets it. Should they know right when they pick it up and go right to the
Not at
correct
this
one?
age, but eventually they'll learn. But that's a good thing that he's problem solving. He's trying
Okay.
and he's seeing which one
He didn't
works.
just give up.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
And that's the
still
thing, you
okay
should-
to
yeah.
not be like that, because just like, I think you need to start working more on those shapes with him, because he's not
Yeah.
knowing right away which one it is, but it
Yeah.
gets there eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by like
and
18 months, they should be able to stack a couple of blocks, be
He's
able
good
to
at
put
blocks.
in like a peg or
Okay.
something, like putting in a puzzle if you
Yeah.
help him.
Okay.
They should be able to do that. Yeah.
So much.
And then
good
like
stuff.
ball tower, anything that like rolls, I love working
Yes.
on that because it works on like, oh, put the ball down,
Yeah.
let's
What
put it
happened?
We
up,
actually-
rolling,
yeah,
go.
just
And like
got
one of
one.
the main things is ready, set, go. All my kids like
Yeah.
catch on so fast. You just start with ready, set, and then you expect them. Eventually they'll, before you know it, they'll be like, go. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay,
I
you
think
did
he
it!
said it
Pick it
today.
up.
I'm like,
Oh.
when my mom's here, I'm like, did he say
Yeah.
go? Because we've
Uh-huh.
been doing, because I watched some YouTube videos on this lady, I should give her a shout out. I'm forgetting what her name is, but I'll tag her because she has
Yeah.
great videos. She's a speech path. And it's like, do the numbers too, like 1, 2, 3, and go. And so we've been doing one with that.
Yeah,
I
with
can't even
him.
talk, I need speech. We've been doing that with him, and it's been great. And then
Yeah.
today he was doing something with his ball and did it, and I swear he said go.
Yeah,
and
they
so
learn
I've never heard a
so
G
fast.
voice from
I've
him
had
yet.
kids
So
at the
fast.
second session. They'll be ready, set, go. Like a kid who's never spoken. I'm like,
Oh,
awesome.
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
such a
Cool.
good feeling
Mhm.
too.
So yeah, that's good.
And the
then
countdown is great. Like my little one, the second I say 3, he goes 2, 1.
Oh.
Like
Oh, really?
he
So
knows.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They get
Okay.
excited about that stuff. You gotta think they're kids. They
Yeah.
get excited about this.
And then you also
smallest
told me
things.
once, like, to say, like, put the ball by your mouth
Mhm.
or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
using
put it
items
by,
next to you.
so they see your
Or
mouth.
even
mouth.
just using a mirror. Kids are obsessed with themselves
Yeah.
and looking at themselves.
No,
so like I'll
definitely.
put a whatever toy it is. I'm like, oh look, what do you say? Look at mommy, ma, and like really exaggerating the movements because sometimes they just don't understand. Like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
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 No,
Okay,
definitely.
that's good.
So good.
Yeah, and then if you do start speech therapy, you'll probably get homework from your speech therapist anyway.
Yes.
So like, they'll give cards
They
to
do.
practice at
Okay,
home, and that's something
I was
you know,
wondering
They
if
do
you're
give
not
you a
good.
lot of tools to do
Yeah.
at home.
Okay.
Like
Okay, good.
eye opener.
But yeah, that ball thing we just got because of the video
Uh-huh.
I watched of practicing like saying in and well he hasn't said all
Yeah,
those.
but
Yeah,
I
but
think
you
it's a
are.
good
But
tool.
you are saying
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? And he'll catch on eventually.
And what I needed to do, I think, was break it down. Instead of being like, put the ball in the thing, well, I think that's great to say that sometimes,
Yeah,
but
but
just be
sometimes
like,
just
in,
easy.
just like the words, out,
Mhm.
in.
Yeah, you might
so.
be saying too much.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
I think
where
another
it's
thing.
like,
Like keep it simple.
And
Yeah.
I just
Talk at
blocked
their
you
level.
out.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, simple and direct.
And then
This is
barn
what we're
is
doing.
great. Another one, like buying a barn with animals.
Oh, I have one.
So much. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
it's
good.
like the best therapy tool you can use. Like
Really?
working
Do
on
animal noises,
prepositions,
all
animal
those.
noises, colors. Where is the animal
Okay.
hiding, playing peekaboo, and they love all that stuff. So
Okay.
if
I'll
you're
break
about
that
to
out.
spend money on toys, like try to find something that will be good for
Educational.
them,
Yeah.
that they can really like expand their language and learn more with.
Okay, I'll have to pull that out somewhere. We have so many hand-me-down toys that they're just like all over
Yeah,
the
that's
place. So.
All
Awesome.
over the place.
Um,
Awesome.
okay,
Anything
well-
else you want to go over? You
Think-
thinking?
Hopefully these are some good tips.
I
I just
think
really
they are
want to make
great
sure all
tips.
moms feel supported
Yes.
and you know there's a way to get help and it shouldn't be just on you. Like no one should feel like they have to fix their child because they are a little bit behind. You know, every kid is so different and everyone's going to have their strengths and weaknesses and we just got to support our little ones and give them that little push if they need it. And there's a lot of places that will offer services. I think that's really the takeaway. Like there is help and it's not a big deal if they need it.
Exactly.
It just they need your mamas to help them.
Yeah, well, maybe
I think
you need to
that's the biggest
switch and
deal.
start doing, because she has an awesome mom blog, OC Mom Lifestyle. We'll tag that too, but maybe you should get into a speech pathologist kind of social media
Yeah.
thing or
Put it
something.
Insta.
I don't know. I'm
Put it
always trying to
Insta.
push a new thing on the social media.
She's like, no, keep
I'm
working.
good.
Work.
I'm busy. But I mean, I found like that Speechy Morgan Italian.
Yes, I
that's
loved-
been helpful.
I like
Yeah.
looking
So,
for
I
stuff.
mean,
There's
there's
a lot
always-
of great
There's
Yeah.
so
accounts.
much good
I love
info.
like that's the one thing about social media. I'm like there's so much good stuff out there.
There's
You
so
look
much
for the
good
right
info.
things,
Good
you can
resources.
find great things. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it too. And you can build like a community too.
Totally.
You
That's
know,
what it's
like
for. That's what social media is for.
No,
It's to
totally.
everyone like
I
help.
had someone telling me when I
Yeah.
had a little
Mhm.
baby. You
Yeah.
know,
Because
it's
how are
like
we supposed to know? Like
Yeah.
all of us us are doing
It's
it
like, oh,
for
we're
the
just not
first
going to
time.
talk about it? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, come on. And that's the other thing is like, talk about it. If you feel like your kid's behind, go talk about it or go get them checked out. Like, like you got them checked out and now you have to get the ball rolling. You might not even need speech by the time you get there.
Yeah.
You know, but at least you know you did your part
Yeah.
and, as a parent and an advocate for
Yeah, I know,
kid.
it's scary. Like, I think that's why people don't go because they don't want that confirmation that something's wrong or they're just in denial or, oh, it'll be fine. So, I mean, it's scary. It's a big thing. But like we've said in other episodes, you know, we're our child's biggest advocates. So we are their voice when they can't.
And it doesn't change who your child is. No matter what kind of diagnosis you get, it doesn't change who your child is or how you love that child.
Yeah.
So just go and help them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
being
much
here. I
for
feel like
taking
this was
time
a
out. This was a good one. It was
good,
long.
lots
I
of
liked
knowledge.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Like, they want to do
I'm
it.
doing
She's like,
it.
I like the stick thing.
Oh,
I
this is
totally
good.
forgot about so much.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll be like, oh, hey.
I did. I liked it. Thanks. Did you like it? I like the Ace Ventura one.
It's like a huge.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yes. Sometimes she'll creep in. We'll go from there.
Oh, is
Good?
everything on?
Baby making machine.
You always do your weird, like, sneak out of here. Look at the big one.
I don't want to do it again.
Seems like it's so this and not that.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Like they feel good the higher they are.
You ready?
Get over it.
Oh.
I don't want to change diaper.
Welcome to more.
Oh, okay, let's do it again.
What happened? Thank you so much, and check us out on YouTube. Please subscribe, share.
like,
You take like a picture and then share it in your story.
That'd be awesome. We'd
and then
appreciate
we'll share
it.
We'll just share.
We'll
it
be one and happy
together.
share circle.
And let us know if you want to hear any other topics, cause
Yeah. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
yeah.